Hello students, I am Tara Jayant, Associate Professor, Department of Zoology, Government PG College for Women, Panchkula. The topic that we are going to study today is Biodiversity and its Conservation, Part 1. It is for class BSc 3rd year, 5th semester. In this part of the video, we will study about meaning of biodiversity, levels of biodiversity, biogeographic zones of India, and value of biodiversity. Biodiversity refers to the variety and variability of all animals and plants and microorganisms and the ecological complexes of which they are a part. अर्थ पर प्रेजेंट डिफरेंट टाइप के इकोसिस्टम्स और उनमें मिलने वाले डिफरेंट टाइप के एनिमल्स, प्लांट्स और माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स को बायोडाइवर्सिटी कहते हैं। म्यूटेशन, रिकॉम्बिनेशन और नेचुरल सिलेक्शन वो 3 इम्पॉर्टेंट प्रोसेसेस हैं जिनके थ्रू बिलियंस ऑफ ईयर्स के टाइम पीरियड में बायोडाइवर्सिटी का इवोल्यूशन हुआ है या न्यू स्पीसीज की फॉर्मेशन हुई है। लेवल्स ऑफ बायोडाइवर्सिटी। बायोडाइवर्सिटी हैज़ 3 levels or components. First is ecosystem diversity, second species diversity, and third is genetic diversity. First of all, we come to ecosystem diversity. It refers to the diversity of ecological complexes or biotic communities found in a given area. किसी भी गिवन जोग्राफिकल एरिया में जो डिफरेंट टाइप के इकोसिस्टम्स या बायोटिक कम्युनिटीज़ एग्जिस्ट करते हैं वो उस एरिया की इकोसिस्टम डाइवर्सिटी है। फॉर एग्जांपल, इन अ गिवन एरिया देयर कैन बी फॉरेस्ट इकोसिस्टम्स, grassland ecosystems, wetlands and desert ecosystem. This constitutes the ecosystem diversity. The second level of biodiversity is species diversity. It refers to the variety of species in a given region. किसी भी इकोसिस्टम में प्लांट्स, एनिमल्स और माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स के जो डिफरेंट स्पीशीज प्रेजेंट होते हैं वो उस एरिया की स्पीशीज डाइवर्सिटी है। नंबर ऑफ स्पीशीज पर यूनिट एरिया इज कॉल्ड स्पीशीज रिचनेस। स्पीशीज आर द मोस्ट कॉमनली यूज्ड यूनिट इन डिस्क्राइबिंग बायोडाइवर्सिटी। इन द गिवन डायग्राम वी कैन सी द डिफरेंस बिटवीन स्पीशीज रिचनेस एंड स्पीशीज evenness. In part A of the diagram, the number of species is more as compared to that in part B. Also, the number of individuals of one particular species is more as compared to the other species. So, sample A is more species rich as compared to the sample B. In sample B, there are only 2 species and also the number of individuals of both the species is same. So, it is an example of species evenness. Third level of biodiversity is genetic diversity. It is the diversity of basic units of heredity, that is genes, which are passed on from one generation to another within a species. किसी भी स्पीशीज में जीन्स में प्रेजेंट वेरिएशंस की वजह से जो डाइवर्सिटी अराइज होती है उसको हम जेनेटिक डाइवर्सिटी कहते हैं। इट इज एक्सप्रेस्ड इन मेनी टर्म्स लाइक सबस्पीशीज, ब्रीड्स, रेसेस, वेराइटीज एंड फॉर्म्स. As I told you, it arises due to variations in the sequence of 4 base pairs present in the genetic material. For example, in case of animals, dog has got a number of varieties. Similarly, in plants, there are different varieties of maize. So both these are the example of genetic diversity. Now we come to community diversity. The diversity of ecological units or community types within a different and large ecological niches is known as community diversity. किसी भी बड़े जोग्राफिकल एरिया या इकोलॉजिकल निचेस में जो डिफरेंट टाइप की बायोटिक कम्युनिटीज प्रेजेंट होती हैं उसको हम कम्युनिटी डाइवर्सिटी कहते हैं. इकोलॉजिकल और कम्युनिटी डाइवर्सिटी हैज़ 3 different levels. First is alpha diversity, second is beta diversity, and third is gamma diversity. Let us understand them one by one. First is alpha diversity, or the diversity which exists within a same biotic community. It is expressed in terms of species richness or number of species in an ecosystem. एक पर्टिकुलर इकोसिस्टम में या बायोटिक कम्युनिटी में जितने भी डिफरेंट टाइप के स्पीशीज प्रेजेंट होते हैं उसको हम उस एरिया की अल्फा डाइवर्सिटी कहते हैं. इट डिफाइंस द बायोलॉजिकल डाइवर्सिटी विद इन ए पर्टिकुलर इकोसिस्टम, कम्युनिटी or simply in a particular habitat. By counting the different species, genera and families or number of taxonomic units present in an ecosystem, we can measure the alpha diversity of that region. The second component is beta diversity. It is also known as the diversity between two different communities. It is defined as the rate of turnover or replacement of species while moving from one habitat to another in a given geographical area. किसी भी geographical area में जब हम एक बायोटिक कम्युनिटी या एक हैबिटेट से दूसरे हैबिटेट की तरफ मूव करते हैं तो स्पीशीज का कंपोजिशन चेंज होने लगता है. इसी को हम बीटा डाइवर्सिटी कहते हैं. इट इज गिवन एज द रेट ऑफ चेंज इन स्पीशीज कंपोजिशन अमंग कम्युनिटीज और अक्रॉस डिफरेंट इकोलॉजिकल हैबिटेट. एग्जाम्पल ऑफ बीटा डाइवर्सिटी इज द डिफरेंस इन स्पीशीज कंपोजिशन बिटवीन अ कोरल रीफ एंड इट्स एडजॉइनिंग इंटरटाइडल जोन. Third component of community diversity is gamma diversity. It is defined as the rate of turnover or replacement of species between similar habitats in different geographical areas. Different geographical areas में जो same type के habitats होते हैं उनमें present species की diversity को हम gamma diversity कहते हैं. Gamma diversity is also known as large-scale landscape diversity. In a given region, it is given by the quantitative measurement of overall diversity for different ecosystems. Example of gamma diversity is the different type of species found in coral reefs of Gulf of Kutch and species found in coral reefs of Andaman Nicobar Islands. So both these are coral reef ecosystem but present in different geographical areas. Next topic is biogeographical zones of India. Biogeography is the study of distribution of species, organisms and ecosystems in geographic space and through geological time. Geographical conditions में या geographical gradients में वेरिएशन की वजह से किसी भी पर्टिकुलर एरिया की स्पीशीज डाइवर्सिटी चेंज हो जाती है Organisms and biological communities often vary in a regular fashion along geographic gradients like latitude, elevation, isolation, and habitat area. So, depending upon the geographical conditions of any given area, it can be divided into different biogeographical zones because the species diversity in these areas will be different. The biogeographical classification of India is the division of India according to its biogeographic characteristics. There are 10 main biogeographic zones in India. They are the Trans-Himalayan zone, then Himalayan zone, third is desert zone, then semi-arid zone, Western Ghat zone, Deccan Plateau zone, then here it is Gangetic Plain zone, Northeast zone, coastal zone, that is the coastal areas of India, and the 10th one is the islands associated with India. Let us discuss them one by one. First is Trans-Himalayan zone. This zone mainly comprises the Ladakh mountains and the Tibetan plateau area. The main animal species which are found in this region are wild sheep and goats, Himalayan ibex, snow leopard, marbled cat, marmots, black-necked crane. Then second region is Himalayan zone. It is mainly formed from northwest, west, central and eastern Himalayas. The main fauna of this region are snow leopard, giant panda, Himalayan wild yak, Himalayan thar, musk deer, red panda and Himalayan munal pheasant. The third region is desert zone. This area comprises the Thar desert of Rajasthan and Kutch region of the Gujarat. The main animals and bird species found in this area are Great Indian bustard, black buck, Indian gazelle or chinkara, Indian wild ass, Asiatic wild cat and Great Indian spotted eagle. The fourth zone is semi-arid zone. It comprises the Punjab plains, Gujarat and Rajputana area of Rajasthan. The main fauna of this region is Asiatic lion, cheetal, hyena, chinkara, jackal fox, black-winged kite and herons. The fifth zone is Western Ghat zone. Malabar plains and Western Ghats make the Western Ghat zone. The main animals which are found in this region are the Indian bison, Indian flying fox, Indian giant squirrel, sloth bears, Nilgiri tahr, Great Indian elephants, Malabar parakeet and Malabar grey hornbill. The sixth region is Deccan Plateau zone. It consists of a number of areas, that is Central Highlands, Chota Nagpur Plateau, Eastern Highlands, Central Plateau and Deccan South. The animal species which we can see in this region are Indian elephant, four-horned antelope, grizzled giant squirrel, Salim Ali's fruit bat, yellow-throated bulbul and lesser florican. The seventh zone is Gangetic Plain zone. It lies in the upper and lower Gangetic plains. It is the region between the river Ganges and Brahmaputra. The main animals which are found in this region are water buffalo, Indian wolf, Bengal tigers, Gangetic ghadial, Magar crocodile, river dolphins, striped hyenas and Indian grey hornbill. Then the next region is known as Northeast Zone. This region lies in Brahmaputra Valley and Northeast Hills. The main fauna of this region are Hoolock gibbon, one-horned rhinoceros, golden langur, leopard golden cat, Royal Bengal tiger and blood pheasant. The ninth zone is known as Coastal Zone. It comprises the west and east coast of India and Lakshadweep Islands. The important animals which are present in this region are Estuarine crocodile, olive ridley turtles, sea otters, dolphins, Royal Bengal tiger and coral reefs. The 10th zone is islands. It mainly includes the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. The main species found in this zone are Nicobar tree shrew, long-tailed Nicobar macaca, Andaman day gecko, Narcodam hornbill, coral reefs which are very unique to this region, and a number of calcareous sponges are also found in this zone. Value of biodiversity. Biodiversity is important for us in a number of ways. First is ecosystem services. Biodiversity provides a number of ecosystem services and helps in their maintenance. Let us discuss some examples. First is food chains and food webs. Biodiversity helps in proper functioning of food chains and food webs and maintains their balance. In case any species gets disappeared from the food chain or food web, then its balance gets disturbed, which proves very harmful for that ecosystem. Then carbon dioxide and oxygen balance. Plants produce oxygen which is utilized by the animals, and animals release CO2 which is utilized by the plants in the process of photosynthesis. This way, both plants and animals maintain the balance between carbon dioxide and oxygen. Next is soil formation. Soil is formed due to weathering of rocks. The dead and decaying bodies of plants and animals release certain organic acids which help in weathering of rocks, and this leads to the formation of very small fine particles. The dead and decaying organisms add organic matter to the soil, and this way the soil is formed due to weathering of rocks and the dead and decaying organisms. Next is waste disposal. Various waste products which are created due to human activities like various type of pollutants, sewage, garbage, oil spills, etc. They are disposed of from the environment or absorbed by certain species of plants or other organisms. Next is nutrient cycling. Plants take various nutrients in the form of elements from air or soil, and with the help of these nutrients they form their food. The animals take these nutrients from the plants when they take the plants in the form of their food. After the death of animals, these nutrients or elements are returned back to their reservoir pool, that is air or soil, from where they are taken back by the plants. This way, plants and animals help in cycling of nutrients. Then, solar energy absorption. Plants trap the solar energy during the process of photosynthesis, with the help of which they synthesize their food, and then this food is taken by animals and other organisms. Next point is management of hydrological cycle. Plants take water from the soil and evaporate it during the process of transpiration, which leads to the formation of clouds. The water comes back on the earth in the form of rainfall or snowfall, and by the process of percolation, it again enters into the soil, from which it is taken by the plants. This is how the plants help in management of hydrological cycle. Next point is biodiversity as a resource. We get a number of things from the biodiversity, like first is biodiversity as food source. We get cereals, pulses, fruits and vegetables from plants in the form of food. Various species of freshwater and marine fishes are taken in the form of food. Meat, eggs and various other products are obtained from animals, and they are also used as food. Next is fuel. Forest wood is directly utilized by some people in the form of wood. Then biodiversity leads to the formation of fossil fuels like coal, petroleum and natural gas. The dead organism, they get buried inside the soil, their decomposition takes place, and after many years of pressure and heat, the decomposed bodies, they get converted into fossil fuels, which we are using nowadays. Then products. Various animal and plant products like silk, wool, fur, leather, tusks, horns, pearls, ivory, timber, paper, tannin, resins, fiber, dry fruits, etc. They are traded in the market by the people to get money. So in this way, biodiversity is very useful for us. The next point is medicines. We get various drugs and medicines from different plant species. For example, bromelain drug is obtained from pineapple and it is used to control tissue inflammation. Colchicine is obtained from autumn crocus and it is an anti-cancer agent. Similarly, quinine is obtained from yellow cinchona and it is an anti-malarial drug. Likewise, there are various other drugs which are obtained from different plant species and they are used to cure various diseases or ailments. Third point is aesthetic value of biodiversity. Different species of plants and animals add aesthetic value to our environment. They beautify the environment and make it suitable for our survival and existence. The sight of beautiful birds, colorful flowers and butterflies and green forests gives happiness and peace to our mind. Scientific value of biodiversity. The genes collected from different varieties of plants and animals are used for making gene banks for breeding programs in agriculture, animal husbandry and fisheries, etc. This is how the improved varieties of plants and animals are formed. Second is research material and experimentation. Animals like guinea pigs, fruit flies, rats, rhesus monkeys, they are used in research and experimentation. For example, any vaccination or drug is tested on animals before it is applied on mankind. Biodiversity is source for new varieties. The desirable genes which are collected from the wild varieties are used for making genetically modified varieties. For example, high yielding and disease resistant varieties of various crops. Next is cultural and religious value of biodiversity. Plants and animals are symbols of our national pride and cultural heritage. Animals और plants को हम अपने national और state symbols की form में represent करते हैं. For example, black buck is the state animal of Haryana. Then, in Indian culture, various plants and animals are considered to be sacred and they are worshipped by different people in different parts of our country. For example, tulsi, people, cow, snakes, etc. They are worshipped by the people on different occasions. Next is ethical value. Present biodiversity is the result of organic evolution which started about 3.5 billion years ago. So, it is our ethical duty to conserve it for the utilization of our coming generation. Ethical value is based on the principle of live and let live. इस अर्थ के ऊपर present कोई भी organism, whether it is a small sized or microorganism or it's a large sized plant or animal, everyone has equal right to survive on this planet Earth, and every organism plays very important role in the ecosystem. So, it is our ethical and moral duty to conserve the biodiversity present on the Earth. Welcome to the second session of this video, in which we will discuss the different type of questions that can be asked from this topic in your university exam. First category of questions is very short answer questions. These are the questions which you have to answer in 20 to 25 words or 2-3 lines. First is define biodiversity. Second, what are the different levels of biodiversity? Name the biogeographic zones of India. Fourth, what is community diversity? Question number 5. Write 2 medicinal drugs obtained from plants and their use. Number 6. Define beta diversity. Number 7. Name 2 bird species found in Western Ghat zone. Question number 8. Define species richness. Next category of questions is short answer questions. You have to write the answer of these questions in the form of a small paragraph of 40 to 50 words. Question number 1 is write short notes on alpha diversity. Second is scientific value of biodiversity. Question number 2. Explain the genetic diversity with example. Question number 3. Write about Deccan Plateau biogeographic zone. Question number 4. Describe the cultural and religious value of biodiversity. Question number 5 is explain the ecosystem services provided by the biodiversity. Next type of questions that are asked in your exams are long answer questions. These questions are to be answered in detail along with the description wherever it is required and the diagrams if it is required. Question number 1 is describe the biogeographic zones of India. In this question, you have to describe all the 10 biogeographic zones of India with the help of a map. Question number 2. What is biodiversity? Explain its different levels. In this, you have to explain the different levels of biodiversity in detail with examples. Question number 3. Discuss the importance of biodiversity. You have to explain all the important points in which you can mention the importance of biodiversity. Question number 4 is explain the components of community diversity. You have to explain all the 3 components, that is alpha diversity, beta diversity and gamma diversity. This is all about today's topic. I hope all the students are able to understand it, and the questions that I have told you are going to help you in preparation of your university examination. Wish you all the best and thank you.